gaan even het vaart maken.
Bellen hoor. Ja, joh. Nee. Daar hoort hij bij.
Het Blomsterparaden is zondag vanaf 5 uur uitgebreid terug te zien op TV West.
De uitzending wordt herhaald tot en met maandagmiddag. Omroep West, altijd dichterbij.
Geen plaats, hè?
Nossa, nossa, assim você me mata. Ai, se eu te pego, ai, ai, se eu te pego, ai, delícia, delícia, assim você me mata. Ai, se eu te pego, ai, ai, se eu te pego, hein?
Ja, mevrouw.
Leuke outfit heb je.
Ja. Oh ja, rijdt wel. Ja, dat zou ik doen. Nou, dat moet niet gebeld worden. Moet niet gezocht. Oh, hè? Kom juist deze, hè?
Ja hoor, ik moet nog wat niet meer rijden. Kan niet zo zijn. Oh, hij neemt nog niet.
Hij is verliefd.
even weg.
Nou, één deel, het laatste deel heb ik nog niet gehad, maar ik hou het hierbij. Zal ik u inleveren?
Ja, best.
Dan hoor ik al wat.
Ja. Ja hoor. Nee. Oh ja, het tweede deel dat...
Ja, maar dat zal mij het tweede deel hier laat ik aan jullie. Ja.
Oh, dat is ja.
Nee, want ik ben... Dat is goed, want ik kom ook weer door.
Prima.
Succes!
Ja hoor. Jij ook. Hier talent in aan. Ja, dat weet ik.
Doorsturen, maar ik denk dat
ja, nou dat moet je even doen natuurlijk. Kijk die mensen. Hij kent er dit dus.
Draaien wil je.
nee, ik sta er nog steeds hier en kom door hoor. De krant. Dat is voor Arno, dat was voor gewoon de week. Hè?
zonder te verwachten.
Zonder te kopen.
Meter 15, 20.
21.
Ik heb er 20.
20. 20.
Oh, weet gauw.
Ah, die klopt ook wel gelijk. Kijk, leuk. Kijk wel even.
Zo.
Nee.
Zo, zo. Ja, kijk, dat is het toch.
Zit er en alles. Wel heel apart. Ja.
Ja, nee, erachteraan van wel. Als je nou zo gaat zetten, dan pakt het helemaal.
I'm riding on skin.
En wij nodigen u nu al uit om het volgend jaar ook weer te komen genieten van dit geurige en kleurige bloemencorso.
so
horen, ja.
Ei mennä kauemmas.
Suomet. Hepingen is wel
Hi, well, welcome to the city of Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands and is a small capital if we compare with some other cities in the world. Imagine then here we have only about 800 citizens, yeah, not even 1 million of citizens, and we have almost 3 times that number of bicycles. Immediately on your right hand side you will see a church, this one here. This is the main Catholic church of the city. Is dedicated to the patron saint of the city of Amsterdam, and that is Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas is also the patron saint of the kids, yeah, children. That's why here in the Netherlands, on the 6th of December, we celebrate a party in honor of Saint Nicholas. And Saint Nicholas in Dutch, you say Sinterklaas, yeah? This is the way to say it in Dutch. So Sinterklaas, this figure, which is a man with went to travel all the world and come back with presents for the kids. Sinterklaas, yeah, San Nicolas, with the pass of the time. You think he's from Finland?
Yeah.
I think he's Turkish. He's Turkish. He actually is from Turkey. It's a very strange tradition because he is coming back with two little helpers, and they are called Black Pete because they are black. So during the period of the celebration, around 6 December, all the kids at school, they dress up like Black Pete, the helpers, and they will put black smeared in the face. But because now people believe that is racist, because actually there are two little slaves he has, now they start to paint the kids in blue, which is quite funny, by the way, yeah. So Sinterklaas becomes Santa Claus and is sprayed all over, yeah? Everybody now celebrate. But Dutch kids, they are quite fortunate because they have two celebrations. They have 6th of December and 25th of December. Alright, so in a minute, in your right hand side, you will see a beautiful building with some flags on top, here on the corner. This building used to be the head office of several shifting companies, and that's why the flags, each flag is represent one of these shifting companies. And nowadays becomes a 5-star hotel. Looks like a pirate ship, and actually is a copy of a ship from the 17th century. And this original ship was called the Amsterdam and was part of the East Indian Company, a very important Dutch trade company that used to go to Asia to look for spices and silk and other goods. Unfortunately, the first Amsterdam, the boat, sank in his first trip. So the government decided to make this copy in honor of the first ship, but just in case this one here never sailed, is always there, and is a museum. You can go to visit it. It's very beautiful. And actually, if you have 2 or 3 of these gold credit cards, you can also rent the ship for private parties. Being a city so closely related with the sea, we have here on the right hand side a big building with some yellow details, and that is a shipyard. So it's a museum of ships and a place where ships get fixed, repaired and maintained. And in a minute we are about to see one of the, I will say, one of the faces of Holland. Yeah, when we think about this little country, what came in mind are windmills, wooden shoes, cheese and tulips, pretty much. So now we are about to see a windmill, and we have it right here, right in front of us. We'll stay on your left later on. Okay, windmills are very, very important for this country. They're a perfect machine because here we almost constantly we have wind. Although it's an invention that is coming from the Middle East, Dutch people perfectionists this make it more perfect, make certain advances to this creation coming from the Middle East. Windmills are used for several purposes. In this case, this one here is used for make beer. So this is a very good beer factory, like a little one. So it's artisanal beer what they made there. Actually very good, quite strong. Yeah, about 9% alcohol in the beer they produce here. But windmills can be used for other purposes as well, like for instance to make flour or to crush minerals and wood for make pigments, for make paintings, or for instance to cut and polish wood. Especially this cut and polish wood was really important during the 17th century, because the Dutch, they have these trade companies, remember? The East Indian Company and later on West Indian Company as well, and they need a lot of ships for this trade company. So cut and polish wood with windmills give much faster results than do it in another way. If you take a look on the right hand side, you will see every single building is with a different style, different design in here. Well, the government made a sort of contest for choose how they will develop this area, and several architects present different projects. And they couldn't decide for one, so they simply choose one design for each architect. We are about to see a very large building on the left-hand side. This is a very beautiful museum. It's called the Tropen Museum, and all the collection is dedicated to the tropics. When we talk about the Netherlands, we have to talk about 3 different times where this country was invaded and ruled by another country. The first time with Spain, second time French with the expansion of Napoleon, third time Germans, yeah, with the Second World War. So the Tropen Museum was developed by the brother of Napoleon, Louis Bonaparte, and he was king of the Netherlands for about 10 years. And if you look on the right hand side, you see this sort of an arch here, or a big door. This used to be one of the entrance of the city of Amsterdam, and was through that gate then Napoleon made his triumphal entrance to the city when he conquered the Netherlands. And now we have the zoo. You will see a series of buildings here on the right hand side, sorry. So this is the zoo of the city. It's one of the oldest, and we have this building here is the one we are passing at the moment is a library. Very beautiful, very antique books in here, and all this area also belongs to the zoo. We have also here a planetary and aquariums and yeah, reptiles, everything. It's very nice. It's the animals, they look quite happy in here because they are not exactly in cages. They made this the area of the animal as open as possible, so it's quite nice zoo.
Yeah. Flamingo. Det är hela niin. Tästä tulee uudestaan. Missä menee näitä niin näkkiä, kun pitäisi laittaa. Niin joo. Tästä
we have, I mentioned before, the Netherlands was invaded during Second World War by the Germans, but we have certain people who resist the Germans, and that's why we have around the corner on the left a museum. Is called the Resistant Museum. So some people really fight against the Germans, and actually the 3 main figures of this Resistant Museum were 3 teenagers. Yeah, they were the main actors, the main executors of this resistance, because well, they look like angels, 3 little boys, and nobody will suspect about them. So we are approaching now one of this neighborhood used to be a Jewish neighborhood, and Amsterdam was always a city very popular amongst Jewish. Just for you to have an idea, before Second World War, we have here in the city about 10% of the population was Jewish. You might notice in a minute when we make the turn, then although being quite in the center, quite in the historical center of the city, all these buildings are a little bit more modern. And the reason why, well, during the Second World War, when the deportations took away of the city so many Jewish, this used to be their neighborhood, right? So all these houses becomes empty. The winter of 1945 was extremely cold here, and people came to these empty houses, and they took anything they could burn, like windows and floors and doors, everything. So the houses were in a very, very bad condition. And when the government decided to rebuild this area, well, they choose for a more modern style, although nobody really liked it. So now on, for instance, if you want to build anything in the city center, in the historical Amsterdam, you have to build in the style of the 17th century. You cannot make modern constructions anymore, yeah? Everything have to keep certain style, and they do it in this way for, of course, keep the character of the city. And now if you look in the this way, in the left hand side, large building you see like on the square, that is a synagogue, a Portuguese synagogue. And then on the across the street you see museum inside with some colors there. That is the historical museum of Jews. And on the right hand side a flea market, very beautiful. You can find pretty much anything there. It's called the Waterloo Plain, and used to be also a Jewish market. It's open every day except Sundays. The large building we have on the right hand side is a combination of the opera house, the white half round building, that's the opera house, but also the city hall is located there. On the left hand side, the famous bridge in the city is called the Skinny Bridge, and the bridge is on top of the Amstel River. Yeah, this water here on the right hand side, that is the Amstel River. The city of Amsterdam is very, very related with this river. In the 12th century, they built a dam in the river Amstel. And dam in Dutch is the same as in English. So the name means the dam in the river Amstel, yeah? You might hear this little word dam in many other names of other cities here, like Rotterdam, or Nickendam, Volendam, yeah, many more. All of these cities have to do with the fact that somebody will build a dam in a river. And now you can see we are in the historical part of the city, and you can see the buildings, yeah, how beautiful they are, how old they are. In many cases they have a number on the facade, and that is the year of construction. Yeah, like this one here, 1661 on the left. So in the city of Amsterdam we suffer several big fires of Amsterdam. The last one, yeah, just like brutal style. We just go like this. And then you take here. All right. Yay. The tower you see here on the left-hand side, right, that is called the Tower of Munt. And the name Munt means coins. They used to mint coins in that tower. Right next to the tower, always on the right-hand side, the flower market. It's a floating market. It's very beautiful. We are at this moment. We are on the period of the tulips. Yeah, not only tulips, all other flowers then come out from a bulb. Yeah, this is the period. Tulips are quite delicate flowers. They only last for in between, well, let's say 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how hot it is. We are about to cross the 3 main canals of the city. You will see it much better when we go our trip in the boat. This is the Gentleman's Canal. The large building you see here on the right-hand side is the archive of the city, but also for a period of time was the city hall of the city, was located here. Then we have the second of the main canals, the Keizergracht, means the Emperor's Canal. So I was saying, we suffered several big fires in the city of Amsterdam. Last big fire was in the 1642, and after that it was forbidden to build with wood anymore. So all the buildings we have are pretty much from after this big fire, and all of them are built with bricks. And we are about to cross the last of the main canals, the Prinsengracht, the Prince Canals. The canals, straight. The canals were started to dug in the 14th century, and they were finished in the end of the 17th century. You will see on the right-hand side some yellow machines, sort of. This is because they are in construction a new metro line. So the metro will go underneath here on the right-hand side. I might say metro lines we have already. We have 2. This will be the third one. Will connect the south of the city with the north. It's quite a difficult task to build a metro in the city because underneath everything is water. But I might say they take already 10 years in this construction and they haven't finished it yet. They might need in between other 5 to 7 years more to finish it. I hope one day they do. So far they spend way more money they was planning. So in the end will be about in between 15 to 17 years for finish this metro line. And guess what? The metro line has only 9 kilometers. I'm sure you know which one is the famous beer produced in this country. Heineken, right? Alright, now you will see right in front of us, will be on the left, front left, Heineken Brewery. This is where they used to produce the Heineken beer. Of course now they need a bigger building because the demand is so big. Nowadays this building becomes a museum. So basically when you enter this building you become something like a beer bottle and you go through all the beer production process. When I always ask people how was the experience, by the way it's called the Heineken experience, everybody came out very happy. Well, because you know they can test the beer, with the tickets it's inclusive like 3 or 4 beers, so after that everybody is very happy actually. This neighborhood is called the Pipe, and pipe in Dutch means chimney. In the 19th century they placed in here all the or most of the factories, and all these factories they used to have a chimney, therefore the name of the neighborhood. By the way, if you have the time to take a walk around here, they have a very beautiful market. It's called the Albert Kaup market. Maybe you hear already about this. It's the largest market in Europe. Yeah, it's considered the largest market in Europe, so it's worth a visit. And they sell any kind of items there, from fruit to fish, shoes, clothes, flowers, pretty much everything. On the left-hand side, we go straight up. Left-hand side, you can see a very large, beautiful building. This is the National Museum. It's called the Rijksmuseum, and in here they expose the art from the 17th century. Master painters like Rembrandt, if you want to see his paintings you have to come here, yeah? The famous painting of Rembrandt, The Night Watch, is here in this museum. The museum is located in what we call Museum Plain, which means the museum square, and there is also the Van Gogh Museum. And if you wonder where is the Hard Rock Cafe in the city, if you take a look to the right hand side, there is the Hard Rock Cafe.
Hard Rock Cafe. Keep it straight.
Now we're gonna see 2 things. Immediately after we start to move, you will see on the left hand side a big gate, and that is the main entrance to the biggest park in Amsterdam. It's called the Vondelpark, very beautiful park. Used to be a private property from a very wealthy person, and this lady donated to the city. To the other side, on your right, a white building, that is our casino. By the way, this casino, the building used to be used for a different purpose. Used to be a prison. But when the city grew, when the city expand, the prison was too much in the middle, so they decided to move out the prison and put a casino. On the right hand side you see where the Burger King sign it is there. That is a square as well, and it's called the Lazy Plain. The Lazy Square is an entertaining area full of restaurants, bars, theaters, cinemas, and nightclubs for go to dance, yeah, especially in the weekends. There's a lot of things going on in Lazy Plain. You might notice already Museum Plain, Lazy Plain. Well, this little word plain means square. And we also have Rembrandt Square or Rembrandt Plain, which is another entertainment area. And now you will see the buildings around here are slightly more modern. Yeah, you can see by the construction, it's not like in the city center in the old Amsterdam, but although this style is the same, we have a lot of rules about what you can do or you can't do with your building, even which color your windows have to be paint. You have to keep certain standards, and they do it in this way for preserve the character of the city. Where now we have the city of Amsterdam, what used to be was a swamp. So that's why we have so much water. Yeah, you might wonder where all this water is coming from. So what Dutch people did, okay, I have a question here, straight. Here our driver wants to know a little bit about the houseboats. I was avoiding that because it will be explained during the boat trip, yeah, but he's not coming, so I will explain for him. So houseboats, inside, we have two models, by the way. The ones are a proper boat, and the ones are on top of a floating platform, yeah? So they are connected with electricity, running water, gas, heater system, but also sewage system. In the next one, you turn to the right. And so they are connected with the sewage system of the city, yeah, with pipes. In the old days, it was not like this. I might say everything was thrown directly on the canal. But since the year 2007, by law, they have to be connected with the sewage. In order for you to have a house like this in the canal, you need a license from the government. Yeah, you cannot just come and put your boat there. The government stopped to give license already for several years, so that means we can't put any new house in the canal. The ones we have are the ones we have, and this made the whole situation quite exclusive, and this also made the prices go up, right? Because we cannot put any new houses. So nowadays, if you want to buy a house in a nice spot in Amsterdam, the minimum price you will pay, I'm talking about always floating houses, yeah, will be 260 euros, and the price can raise up till about 700,000 euros, yeah, depending on the house. Sometimes these boats, the houseboats, they still have the engine that works properly. So when these people want to take holidays, for them it's very easy. They disconnect water, electricity, running water, all the service, and they go sailing with the entire house. Very practical. And now we are approaching one of the famous museums on the city of Amsterdam, and we are very close to the Anne Frank house. Well, the family Frank was a Jewish family, and they were coming from Frankfurt, Germany. They moved here because the situation for Jewish in Amsterdam was much better than in Germany. And the Anne Frank house is a building where his father used to work. Was not the resident of the family Frank. The house was used as a factory for marmalade, and Otto Frank, the father of Anne, was one of the head managers of this factory. So when the deportations start here in Amsterdam, Otto Frank decided to prepare the back of his office as a special place for hide. By the way, I will keep explaining more, but it's impossible to look the Anne Frank. We cannot go in front of the house because it's a very small street. We cannot go with the bus. This is what I'm trying to say. At least you want to make a very quick stop. I don't know about that. And we walk there. You want it or not? Yeah, would you like to do that? Okay. So we're gonna stop the bus here. You can park normally. Here is a space. Here, exactly. Rembrandt is buried in this church. Yeah, when he died, they put it here in the church. But unfortunately, when Rembrandt died, he was very, very poor, and his family didn't have money to put the name on the grave of Rembrandt. So what happened is, with the pass of the time, we lost the location. We're very sure he is in the church, but nobody knows where he is. And now we are about to see right in front of us this big building with the green statue. That is the back side of the Royal Palace. Is in this building, in what we call the Royal Palace, just few activities happen. It's not used, the building, as a royal resident. The royal family lives in Den Haag, and here, and it's only used for several bureaucratic activities. And the building you see on the corner there, right on the left, like a red bricks building, very beautiful building, used to be the head office of the post. Yeah, used to be the main post office, and nowadays it's a shopping mall. It's called the Magna Plaza. At the moment on the square, we have like kermesse going on. That's why we have this big wheel here and straight. So where is this big wheel right in front of us? You can see it. That is the Dam Square, the main square of the city. In the square is where the Royal Palace is located. And they use the square for several activities the whole year around. We have like in Christmas time we have the Christmas market. In summertime they put the sand, and they made like a volleyball tournaments here on the square, concerts, markets, many different things. So once again, the shopping mall, the Magna Plaza. Look how beautiful this building it is on the left. And on the right hand side you will see a church. This is what we call the new church, and although it's quite old, but it's called like this, the new church. And it's a Protestant church. We don't use the church for religious purposes anymore. We use the church for cultural activities mainly, like concerts, because the organ in the church is beautiful. And the only official activity will happen in that church is when a new king or a new queen will get the crown. Yeah, so that will happen in that church. So in a few minutes we are going to the boat. It's one of the best ways to see the city of Amsterdam is through the canals. You might hear before that Amsterdam is compared with another European city, with Venice. Yeah, we call it the Venice of the North. So all the canals in Amsterdam, they are artificial, handmade. They all have sweet water. And they are about 3 meters deep. Well, that is the official version, because actually in the bottom, the canals, they have about 1 meter of mud, and therefore the dark color of the water. After that meter of mud, we have another meter of all bicycles, beer glasses, refrigerators, as anything you can imagine, then people throw in the canal. And after that we have just about 1 meter of water. It's so much the people throw there. Then we have a cleaning system. It's a sort of a mechanic hand, yeah? And every now and then they pick with this mechanic hand whatever is at the bottom. And believe me, they are mainly bicycles. And you can prove that. It's a postcard, yeah? In the souvenir shops you might find this postcard of this machine grabbing things from the bottom of the canals. And yeah, it's quite fun to see. Canals can be deadly, huh? Very important. Every year, about 5 people drown, 5 people die in the canals. Most of the time, the people who die in the canals, they are men. Can you know why? Yeah. Can you know why they are men? Too much beer, and then they go to pee in the canal. And they fell. No, you laugh, but it's true. It's very sad. And the thing is, it's really hard to climb out of the canals because the walls are high and the water is very, very cold. So the body get in shock, let's say, and they drown. Yeah, every year. All right. Well, now I hope you're ready. And I hope you, you enjoyed this city bus tour. Yeah, I hope you learned something new about the city.
皆様、本日はホランドインターナショナルの運河と港の遊覧船をご利用いただきましてありがとうございます。これから約1時間の遊覧中にアムステルダムの歴史とその見どころを説明させていただきます。
On the right, we can see the 3-storied bicycle flat. It is a parking garage for 2,500 bicycles.
In the old days, ships coming from abroad could come into Amsterdam as far as here. They could not enter further into the city because of the limits imposed by the locks. The cargoes were unloaded here and stored in the warehouses, where, on the left-hand side, you can see a number still remaining, and distributed around the city.
昔は海洋線のアムステルダムの港のここまでは入ってきました。この先は水門などがあって入れないため、荷物はここで陸揚げして一旦左手の倉庫にしまい、それから小さな船に移し替えて市内各所に運んでいたのです。
one of the 16 former sea locks.
この先で市内に16あります昔の海用水門の一つを通って旧市街に入ります。
In Amsterdam has a hoisting beam on the upper part used to hoist the goods up and bring them into the houses. To move goods up the stairs was not possible then or now. To save space, the stairs were made very narrow, steep, and winding. The hoisting beams are still used to this very day, for example when moving house. Because of this, not only the old, but also the new houses are provided with a hoisting beam.
アムステルダムの家のほとんどに腕木が屋根の下から突き出しているのに気づかれたでしょうか。これは昔から荷物を吊り上げるために使っていたものです。階段はスペースを取らないようにと狭く急で曲がっていることが多く大きなものを出ています。
On the right-hand side, you can see in number 263 the Anne Frank house. The house is now a museum and may be visited daily.
しばらく行くと右側に見えてきます263番の家。入り口のあたりが濃い緑色で塗られた家がアンネ・フランクの隠れ家です。元隠れ家は現在ミュージアムとなって毎日公開されています。
dankjewel.
In the 16th century, the merchants used to store their goods mostly at home, in their large attics, and also behind the houses. As trade increased, there was a greater need for warehouses where all sorts of goods could be stored, such as cloth, wood and iron, salt, spices, and grain. Warehouses are, generally speaking, quite easy to recognize because they have mostly a simple spout gable. Also, it's only warehouses that have shutters in front of the windows.
16世紀のアムステルダムには ほとんど倉庫というものはありませんでした。商人たちは自分の家の屋根裏に商品をしまい、それで十分だったのです。商業規模が大きくなるにつれて、専用の倉庫が建てられ、農事、木材や鉄材、塩、香辛料、穀物などありとあらゆる商品が保管されました。これらの倉庫はシンプルな瓶の口型の破風で、各階に大きな鎧戸がついているので、すぐに見分けることができます。アムステルダムの他の運河沿いの家と同じく、倉庫の裏側にその代わりとても深く作られました。30メートル、40メートルというのもざらです。現在はほとんどの倉庫が大変モダンに改装されて、アパートやオフィスになっています。
Some running water and electricity at their disposal. In the 1980s, the city began to convert the households to gas, at least in as much as it was technically possible.
アムステルダムには現在約2500隻の住居用ボートがあります。市ではこの数をもう増やさないと言っています。ほとんどのボートには水道の電気も引かれています。1980年代には技術的に可能な限りガスの配管も始めました。